One strike after another. Huge explosions heard across southern Lebanon. The Israeli army said fighter jets hit about 30 rocket launchers and other military infrastructure belonging to Hezbollah. These attacks are becoming more frequent as Israeli officials increase their rhetoric of threat against the armed group. Israel's strikes appear to be part of a strategy to prevent the armed group from building its military capabilities, particularly close to the border.
At least 25 people have been killed in recent Israeli strikes on Palestinian territories. Authorities in Gaza on Wednesday said about 20 of the victims, including 16 women and children, were killed in the Gaza Strip. According to Gaza's health ministry, the strike on a tent camp in an Israeli designated humanitarian zone claimed at least 19 lives, while another person was killed in airstrikes targeting the Bureij refugee camp in central Gaza. At least 5 others were killed in strikes in the occupied West Bank.
North Korea on Thursday morning fired multiple short-range ballistic missiles toward the East Sea. South Korea's Joint Chiefs of Staff said they are analyzing the types and range of the missiles launched for the Pyongyang area. It added that the missiles flew approximately 360 kilometers before landing in the East Sea. The last time the North fired ballistic missiles was on July 1st, which Pyongyang said were successful test launches of a new type of tactical ballistic missile. The Joint Chiefs of Staff emphasized that North Korea's missile launch is a clear provocative act that seriously threatens the peace and stability of the Korean peninsula.
Russia is holding naval drills in areas of the Pacific Ocean, as well as in the Baltic and Caspian Seas, at a scale that has not been seen since the end of the Soviet era. The war games are scheduled to last through to the end of the week, with over 400 warships, submarines and auxiliary vessels, about 120 aircraft, and 90,000 personnel. China's forces are also taking part in the maneuvers. Russian President Vladimir Putin says the drill will incorporate lessons learned from Russia's, quote, special military operation in Ukraine, and warned the United States against trying to outgun Moscow in Asia.
Nigeria's Maiduguri is in the grip of fear and confusion after 200 prisoners escaped a prison facility ravaged by massive flooding. Among those who escaped are commanders of the terrorist group Boko Haram, who were directly responsible for deadly violence in the country's northeast. Nigeria's correctional center in Maiduguri says torrential rains caused massive flooding, which affected the facility. A part of the wall of the Maiduguri prison collapsed, giving inmates an escape route. Close to 200 prisoners are said to have escaped. Kosovo indicted 45 suspects on terrorism charges a year after 80 gunmen stormed a village in its north, engaging in a gunfight with security forces. The gunmen are said to have originated in Serbia, whom Kosovo maintains is responsible for the attack. The attack on the village of Banska saw the death of 3 gunmen and a Kosovo police officer, following which the rest of the group fled back to Serbian territory, leaving abandoned vehicles, ammunition, and explosives in their wake.
One of the 4 bridges crossing the Elbe River has partially collapsed in the German city of Dresden. Traffic, as well as the city's tram system, were severely disrupted by the emergency closure of the 100-meter-long bridge. No one was injured, but city officials warn that there is still a risk of collapse.
This is runway security camera video at the world's busiest airport showing this accident in real time. Both planes belong to Delta Airlines, and it's the large plane coming towards the camera that doesn't see how the tip of its wing is about to break off the tail of the smaller jet.
Right. We just hit something on the taxiway. Could you tell us what it was?
That was the pilot of the larger plane with more than 200 passengers heading to Japan, telling airport control that something just went really wrong on the taxiway. More than 50 people were on the smaller regional jet headed to Louisiana, and they could hear the loud sounds of twisting metal.